Hi everybody, I just wanted to jump on live really quickly today because there's a lot of themes that I was talking about today with a lot of people and I think this shift is still going on and I know a lot of people are still really going through it. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've been hearing a lot today in case anybody else is going through it, because it seems like everybody seems to be going through it that I know right now. So one of the things that I've heard so many people say to me within the last like 2 or 3 days is I'm just so tired. And I'm not just talking about physical exhaustion, although that's real too, especially during these like energy shifts. But it's not that mental exhaustion, right? Like I've been fighting for so long, I've been fighting for so hard, I've been disappointed over and over again, and just this feeling of just exhaustion. I'm done, like I'm ready to give up because I'm so tired. I'm tired of fighting. Like, yes, I want these things in life, but it'd be easier to just give up because I'm tired, right? And I definitely relate to that feeling. Trust me, I'm exhausted too. And I think a lot of the times that really comes up whenever we've been through a lot of battles and we've done a whole lot of healing, when we've kind of overcome a lot of stuff, right? I think my dad used to always say, well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I think in some ways that's kind of true, because you definitely get a lot of strength from the lessons and the things that you've healed from. But I kind of take issue with that a little bit, because sometimes I feel like what doesn't kill you kind of can really rob you of your strength, I guess, to say it that way. And something that I find a lot in my work with the people that I work with, I work with a lot of people who have a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse, and even if you don't have some big specific trauma, sometimes even just abandonment or complex trauma, which can come from having battle after battle after battle, and having things happen to you over and over and over again, can kind of give you this exhaustion of fighting. Or even if you just have depression or bipolar disorder, anything that is a struggle, PTSD, when you're fighting your brain all day long, you're just fighting hard to survive, you're fighting hard to keep it together. If you have anxiety and you're fighting hard to do that, then sometimes we do get really, really tired. But the shame in that is so many of us who've had hard pasts end up being robbed of beautiful futures because we get so tired that we give up and we stop fighting. And so many times we start to think that because our past was a certain way, that our future is going to look a certain way. So we give up because we feel like, why should we even bother? And I just wanted to remind you guys, it's okay to be tired. And if you're tired, rest. Take care of yourself. Take a break from your healing if you need to. Take a break from your work if you need to. But really just give yourself the space to rest. But on top of that, don't forget that you actually do have the ability to create the kind of future that you want. You really have the ability to create something better, but if you stop believing in it, then it's not going to happen, because you're not going to leave yourself open to those opportunities. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about, and a lot of things that I do in my work, is really making sure that people who've had these really hard pasts don't feel stuck in that present, that it's possible to thrive even after you've had to survive for so incredibly long. And most of us have been in survival mode. I think I posted something on my page the other day that was talking about how in this society we're taught to survive, we're taught to fight for things, we're not taught to thrive. And it's so incredibly important that we kind of get out of that mindset and we kind of realize that we can all thrive and we can all have things better and we can have a better life. You know what I mean? So that was just my little reminder. If you're tired, it's okay. It's okay to be tired. If you've been through a lot, it's perfectly understandable that you're tired. But another thing that I've noticed under the theme of all this exhaustion with everyone that I've talked to is this theme of fear. It's like people are really afraid underneath all this exhaustion because they've been battling that fear. They've been battling that chance to be authentic and to step into whatever it is that they really want, whether that's a healed future, whether that's a good relationship, whether that's starting your own business, or whatever it is that your dream is. So many people that I know are really afraid of being able to do that because they're afraid that they are going to fail. I was working with one person today who was talking about how he felt like he'd been beaten down over and over and over again. And he felt like his last job, he got fired, and he was really trying so hard to, just not, well, he wasn't really fired, but it's a long story. It was somebody else's thing, right? And a lot of it has to do with other people. And something that he said that I thought was so profound that I think all of us really feel when we've been through a lot of things is, I don't even know if I want to look at this, because if I do look harder, then maybe I will see that it's me and it's my fault and it's my problem and I did something wrong. And that's something that a lot of us don't want to face, right? And to be honest, there's usually a combination of things. Our trauma is never our fault. Whatever happens to us isn't our fault. Sometimes some bullshit happens. Sometimes things aren't fair, right? But at the same time, sometimes we might have gathered some behaviors from our survival mechanisms that make it so that we aren't really acting in our highest good or our best interest or anything, because we're not really coming from a rational place. We're coming from a fight or flight kind of place. And then the other thing about that was also having to look at your authentic self, which is your strengths and your weaknesses. And it's not just the good stuff. And sometimes whenever you've been beaten down and you already feel bad about yourself, the last thing you want to do is find out something else bad about yourself. Another person I was working with today was talking about how she had a secret. She has a lot of secrets, and there's a lot of things that she never told, and she's carrying all this guilt and all this shame because of the secret that she's carrying. And the sad thing is, she told me the secret that day, and I know she has more, but she told me one of them, and it actually wasn't that bad at all. And it's funny because the exact thing that she felt so guilty and ashamed about was something that I've actually personally been through too, and she had no idea, telling me that secret. So a lot of times whenever we're not willing to face ourselves and we carry this stuff around, we repress those emotions, and we repress that fear, and we repress that guilt and shame, and we just carry it with us instead of letting it go because we're so afraid to be human, we're so afraid to be judged, we're so afraid to be imperfect, that it makes us that tired. So sometimes we're tired because we're carrying around things that we don't even need to carry around. You know, I'm not saying you have to go tell everybody your secrets, but at the same time, if you're carrying around something that you need to let go of and that you're not willing to admit to other people or yourself, let it go, because that's probably part of the reason that you're so tired. You know, if you're carrying around the whole entire world, if you're carrying around all of these secrets, then you are going to be tired. So try to let go of that fear. It's really, really hard, but that fear is what holds us back. That fear is what makes us tired. That fighting, that struggle is what makes us tired. But if we allow ourselves to really surrender, if we allow ourselves to kind of be in the moment, and we allow ourselves to be our authentic selves without judgment of ourselves, because there's no objective right or wrong way to be a human. No matter what you have done, no matter what your secrets are, you are worthy of love. That's when we can really step into our power, and we're powerful, we're not afraid. Somebody who truly loves themselves in an authentic sense and knows their strengths and weaknesses is one of the most powerful people in the world, because most people in the world are really operating in a way that is to kind of take power from others and to gain power from things that aren't really even real. So just some stuff to think about. If you're tired, I'm giving you lots of love right now. I'm giving you lots of e-hugs. I'm sorry that you're tired. Please take a break, and please put some of the burdens down, because so many of the things that we hide, so many of the things that we're guilty of, we feel so guilty about, and so many of the things we're so ashamed of aren't even that big of a deal. They're things that other people have gone through. It's not even our fault, or it's not even a reflection of who you are. So try to remember that the best that you can. It's really hard in this world because we live in a sick world, and guilt and shame are kind of built into who we are, because we always want to feel like we're not good enough, you know, because we're kind of taught that we're not good enough. And that's because there's people that kind of try to rob us of our power in life. So my hope and goal for all of us is that we can take our power back, and that we can stop being afraid, and we can live these lives where we can start thriving and not just surviving. So that was just on my mind. So I just want to get off my chest real quick before I went to bed. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Hang in there through these energy shifts as you're healing. You know, come to our group and hold space if that's what you need. And I really wish you the best, and I'll talk to you all later, okay? All right, bye.